Hi Stampers, this is Karen Phillip, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks for joining me today. We will be learning a technique called concentric circles that's going around the internet right now, so I thought I'd give it a try. Here is one card that I made using, it's sort of masculine, and this is using the Old World paper, these two. Kind of a pretty look, and this actually looks like leather, so it's a neat effect. And the card we're making today is this one. It seemed a little cleaner to me, so that's what we're doing. So let's get started. To do this, you need circles, of course, and these are done with the circle, layered circle dies and the stitch circle dies. I've used for the layering dies, I have used the 3-inch circle, that's that one, and we've cut out two 3-inch circles, one out of the Night of Navy and one out of the designer paper. And then the next layer is the largest on this pile, and this one is actually 2 3/4 inch. This next one comes from the stitch circles, and this one is these are a little messy. That's this size, which is actually 2 1/2. And then this circle that is already cut is a 2-inch circle, and that is this one. So this one would be the 1, 2, third one down, and that's that. And then this one, the final one, is the smallest of the stitch circles. So that's the circles we'll be using. This particular one, I wanted to make sure that I had enough designer paper, so I cut the 3-inch circle out of the designer paper, and then I took my 2-inch, because we need two of the 2-inch, and I cut it out right in the center of this, and that's why it looks a little odd, but it still works. So I just did that to save paper. This one you can't cut anything out because you need both sides. So they're already cut, of course, and I just want to put these back so I don't lose them. Shove them in there for now. Driving certain people crazy that they have to be right away in order. I'll do that later. Okay, so the first thing is cutting all of these circles in half. You can do them one at a time, so you can see these two are the same, or you can do them all at once. I'll do 2 of the 3-inch right away, and you can use a paper cutter or you can just cut them in half. I'm just cutting them, and if it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. You'll only be using one of the halves, except for this one you use both pieces, and you can just make another card with this. It's those. This is the 2 1/2-inch circle, and actually that's the most confusing of this whole technique, is knowing how many and which circles to do. So we have that one, put that aside. And then this one is our stitch circle, which is 2 1/2. This was 2 3/4, and we need both sides of that. Our 2-inch circle, one in the designer paper and one in our smoky slate. And this little one we will not be cutting in half. That's our little circle that goes on the front of it. So that's right here. So to put this on your card, you will assemble our card. We have Night of Navy, just a regular 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, folded in half at 4 1/4. And we're adding our smoky slate. And this one is a little more different. That sounds funny. It's a little different because it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And I obviously don't know how to glue today. I'm just taking off the excess. I'll get the rest off later. And then I have a piece of Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. This went through that. And there you go, you can see the texture. And that's on a piece of 3 3/4 by 5. You can use any color, of course. That's what I did on that blue one. And then we'll just glue this on. So to start with, we will take our circle or our half circles, and we will decide what colors we want. I want the navy on the bottom, and then I want smoky slate next. That'll be this color. Then we will put our designer paper, and then the 2-inch piece of designer paper right here. And this is really pretty easy. This is what my bottom will be. So now I'm going to glue each of these on one corner of the edge of the half here. So we'll start with the smoky slate, and we're just, oops, really sticky, stuck right to my finger. Okay, so we're sticking that right to the edge, and the tops will line up, and so it has this wavy kind of a look. The next layer is the designer paper that we will have 2 of them, and they will line up across the top. So again, we're lining it up right to the corner, putting it down, and if it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. We have our banner that goes over it. I'm doing the next piece of designer paper. This is our 2-inch piece circle that was cut out of this other circle. But you don't have to do it that way. I just needed it for a class and needed to make sure I had enough for the class. Okay, so now we have our first part, and that will go to the left a little bit. Now the top piece, we will start with the bigger piece, the 3-inch piece. And we're going to line it up with our designer paper there. It looks weird because it's the half circle, but once you put your other piece like that, you can see how well this lines up, and you don't even know that you have a piece cut out. Then we're taking our 2-inch piece and we'll be putting it there, so that will line up here. So you only need 3 for the top and 4 for the bottom. So we'll attach these to each other. Same way, we're putting this on the right corner this time, not the left corner, of our designer paper. And then we will take our 2-inch piece, 2-inch circle, and put that in the corner. And now we will line them up. So we have a little bit on each side, line it up. And now to glue it, we will just do 1/2 at a time, leaving one piece there. Glue this down, match it up like that. Now we can take this piece, glue it down, and again we're lining up the designer paper here. This piece lines up, so you have one big wave, and same thing with this. So all the colors should line up. And then our final, before we put our final circle on, we're going to add our banner. This says life is better with a friend like you. It worked perfectly for the size. It needs to be about 3 3/4, 3.5, and this is a 1/2 inch wide. I've already stamped it. This comes from the Peaceful Moments stamp, and it's, again, his life is better with a friend like you. Just fit. I'm trimming one of the ends for a banner. You cut up the center and then in on the sides. And this does not get popped up or anything. This just gets glued on. So we'll glue that on. and you go right over the line, right over this line here, right over the border. And so that just goes right, you just center it on. So that's why it doesn't matter if the lines are perfect or not. And then this piece, I will be using dimensionals on the top part, the top part here. So we will put them on, two on the top, and we will adhere flat on the bottom. That way it won't be wobbly. And I did it backwards. That's okay. So we will just put that over on the edge. Oh darn, I did it wrong anyway. There we go, this way. So the pop dots, the dimensionals are on the top and the flat is on the bottom. There we go, now it lines up. And to give it a little bit of interest, I did put a couple of blue dimensional, or blue, what are these called? They are blue sequins. They're not sequins. Little gems. Blue dimensional gems, I believe they're called. So that's how you make this card. I hope you don't have trouble with it. And for our club members, this is what our sample will look like. That will go on our piece, our cheat sheet. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.